Hello everyone, my name is Nathan Tweehughes, and today I'm going to talk to you about me finding progress and my failures. Not everyone is an Einstein, I know that from experience. I myself have many trouble trying to learn in class, and I struggle even ones that I enjoyed. I found my favorite subject when I was in high school. That's when I almost took every kind of science class there was. It didn't matter what kind of field, as long as it was science, I took it. And by that, I was given the nickname Nate Geo, from my teachers. I eventually homed in on my favorite branch of science in my senior year, which was marine biology. And I always had an interest in fish since I was a kid. I loved going fishing at my pond, at my aunt's pond, the Knight of Columbus's lake. It didn't matter what I caught. I was just having a great time enjoying catching fish. I was just seeing all the kind of different species I could get, no matter if it was, the catfish, the bluegills that everyone catches. It was just pretty neat to have them. And during high school, I started my first tank, just trying to get a feel of how to raise a fish and, just see what they do. And I started with simple goldfish, and the goldfish lived for quite some time until they died of old age. And it was probably about a good 10 years that they lived for. And just seeing how it grew from like a tiny, like 1 inch fish to almost 8 inches was just a journey in itself to see how he grew 3 times his size. And I have made a mistake and learned from it by putting little tiny fish in there. Same thing, goldfish, and I knew they were cannibals that they could eat. So, I woke up the next morning and one was gone and the other one was kind of floating. So I was like, well, learn from that mistake and never did that again. And before I decided what exact degree I was doing, I had to choose either, I had another decision. It was sports management. And this was because all 4 years of my high school career, I was stuck at school after class anyway because I had to wait for my ride. And my ride was the athletic trainer, which was also my stepmom, for the school. So I was like, if I'm here, might as well be a part of the sports team somehow. So I became the equipment manager. In other terms, it's kind of like a water boy. It didn't get to me too much. People call me water boy, whatever. But it was fun. I got to be on the team, got to go on trips. I even got 4 state championship rings out of it. I got 2 for basketball and 2 for football. And with my stepmom being an athletic trainer, my dad was also an athletic trainer. So I had connections with that athletic training, and they were athletic trainers for colleges. So I was able to have a broad uh, choice to go to colleges like Louisville, UK, Tennessee Tech, Georgia, anywhere I wanted to go. They knew somebody from that. And then for my basketball coach, he actually had a contact out in Arkansas. So I went out to Arkansas, drove the 13-hour trip. It was a blast going out there, seeing it, going to a different state other than good old Kentucky. And I talked to the current manager there, and it was great. He took us a trip, and he said one thing to me, and I would never forget. And he said, "Would you have a family if you took this job?" And I told him, I was like, I would like to. And he said, "I wouldn't suggest doing this job if you're going to have a family." He's like, "I get to see my wife and kid at 6 a.m. and at midnight every day." He's like, "I don't get it. He's like, I rarely get to see her grow up, and I see my wife maybe 2 hours a day." And that just kind of hit hard. I was like, I don't know if I can do that. So on my way back, driving there, I was thinking, what else could I do? So the other thing I liked, since I took science, I was like, you know what? I'll try to do an environmental science degree. And with that, my dad was trying to help me out. They're like, what are you going to do with it? Like environmental science is so broad. He's like, what can you do with it? And how can you home into something that goes into it? Well, I started looking around, couldn't find it. And then I finally convinced him that's what I wanted to do and why I should. So I went to MSU, Morehead State University, for my first year. And as anyone, it was the toughest year of my life. I was away from home, 2 hours away, a full set of classes, and I had a really busy job. And that job was, sure enough, it was like being equipment manager for the football team. And I was like, it got me in there, it got me a scholarship, and it's something I knew how to do and I loved. So when I was there for classes, I had morning classes because I was able to wake up. I had it 8 to 11. But after I hit 11, I had an hour for lunch, and then right at lunch from noon to almost midnight, 12 hours, I was on the football field. Practice was only 4 hours long, but I was working from 12 to 12. And that was just too much for me. I couldn't have any free time, couldn't do anything else other than school and work. And that's where I was like, I don't know. And I started failing some classes, and then I was like, well, this is it. So I took a whole year break of school, and I was like, I don't know where if I can recover from this. I was like, I'm already a year off from graduating in the 4 years I was wanting to, and I'm already now, it's going to be another year. So it cleared my mind after taking that break. I knew what I need to do, what changes I need to happen. So went to community college. I went to Gateway, great school. I mean, I was able to go through there 2 years. I went there, immediately got my associate's degree, and then I was 90 hours of credits done, and then I was on to getting my bigger degree, the master's. So once I got that big confidence booster, I was like, sweet, I'm done. Now all I have to do is get 30 more hours. I got my master's degree, and all the failures that I had are gone. I was like, I've gotten this far. I was like, first one in my family as well. I was like, this is great. So I started going to find jobs that are looking for marine biology, and I found a couple fish hatcheries nearby, one real close to my dad's house. So I went up there and I got the interview, and it was the one I really wanted to. And he said, hey, I really like you. You're like a great worker. He's like, you used to work in retail. He's like, that's great with customers. He's like, I chose you and two other people from 50 people. He's like, I would like to have you. And I told him, I was like, well, I still have some school left. I was like, I can get a marine biology degree. He's like, would that help me out here? He's like, it will. He's like, it will be the second person. And he's like, and you can go extend even farther because we have other locations. And I was like, sweet. He's like, I will see you whenever I graduate, which I told him it will be about a year and a half left. And I am looking forward to working with you. So for me now, I am continuing my studies at Thomas More University now. I'm a junior, almost done, and I'm getting one step closer to getting my degree and my dream job. And I just want to let you know that even though you had some troubles, or even though I had some troubles going along from in the first year of college, that no matter what you put your mind to it, you will be able to get to where you want. Thank you.